is plenty of writing on the wall this season for the Calgary Flames. No, literally, there's writing on the locker room wall now.
You're Locked On Flames, your daily podcast on the Calgary Flames. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Well, hello everyone, and welcome to today's episode of Locked On Flames. Thank you so much for joining me here today. As always, I'm your host, Jess Belmosto, and I am so excited to be wrapping up this week with all of you. Today's episode is brought to you by FanDuel Sportsbook, the official sportsbook of Locked On. Make every moment more. Right now, new customers can bet $5 and get $200 in bonus bets guaranteed. Visit FanDuel.com/LockedOn to get started. Today, we are going to be talking about the literal writing on the wall, the Flames locker room changes. We're going to be talking about Backlund for captain. And of course, Jakob Pellitier gets a little raw and honest in a preseason interview, as well as our winners and losers of the week. So make sure you're subscribed to Locked On Flames wherever you get your podcasts, because we're here for you 5 days a week, Monday through Friday. Hockey's back, and it feels so good. The weather is starting to get that crisp fall feeling in the air. I'm going to an orchard on Sunday. Fall is here. Hockey is here. Obviously, last few days we've been training camp, and players have been chatting with the media, and they're doing a lot. They're talking a lot. It's all good stuff, obviously. It's nice to see them energized and to see their personality again, and they have life behind their eyes. And to me, that is so important, because the way last season ended was just so defeating, and I can't imagine what it was like for them. But there was a video posted, I believe it was Derek Wills, who posted the video of the new locker room look, and there's words on the wall. It's like consistency, commitment, and I'm forgetting the other two, but those are two key factors that it's going to take to win this season. So it's nice to kind of have that, it's always there, and it's a nice reminder. Players have also been saying that, Backlund is more than likely going to be the captain. Simply, they're alluding to it, right? Everyone that has been asked about it has pretty much said that's Backlund. Backlund's our guy. And we know what the issue here is, right? You aren't naming him captain if he isn't re-signed. They've made that clear. I don't think that they want to do it. They've kind of used it as a bribery, or as a bribe rather. But that looks like the direction that they're heading. I think it was Pat Steinberg on Flames Talk who said he is the most confident out of that Backlund will re-sign, out of Backlund, Lindy, and Hanifin. And Elliotte Freidman has said that it's only a matter of time before they name their captain. Blake Coleman today was asked about it and said the anticipation is going to be so worth everyone's wait, and everyone's going to be excited. What happens here if they're hyping up Backlund? They are saying everything they need to kind of prime this unveiling of career-long Calgary Flame is taking over Gio's captaincy and stepping up because the team needs a true leader. What happens if it's not Mikael Backlund? What happens if Backlund decides, oh no, I don't want to resign anymore. I gotta see what's out there. And then they go with Rasmus Anderson, right? Okay, here's your captain, Rasmus Anderson. The guy that we were gonna name just decided, he doesn't want to be here anymore officially. So, he might be 2 stalls down and in the same locker room, but here's your new actual captain that is not Mikael Backlund. That would just be super awkward. I would think the writing is there. They would not be putting these clips out. They would not be the players wouldn't be saying these things if Backlund wasn't staying. So I would like everyone to kind of prepare for that, because that is what is more than likely going to happen. And it's kind of looking like the time frame is the preseason. So, we've got a few games ahead of us these next few weeks, right? Before October 11th. And that's a good chunk of time. And I mean, I would say that things are probably going to play out that way. I mean, right now it's the end of September. I would say by the end of the month. Right? That gives them 8 days. I feel like that is realistic. They'll start October and they'll say like, oh, new month, new captain, and all that fun stuff that you have to do for social media marketing, right? But I feel like Backlund is a good choice. I believe I had an episode out at the end of the season, early off season, about how Backlund should be the next captain. It might have even been during the season, really. So it feels like the obvious choice. Had he not, if he doesn't stay, feels like it's going to be Rasmus Andersson or Mackenzie Weegar. I'm fine with any of these choices, because all of these guys have demonstrated what they need to do in order to be successful leaders, and people respect them. So it's looking good. But to the on ice stuff for a second here, okay? Obviously, it is preseason. Preseason, no one is ever coming out in mid-season form. I don't even know if Connor McDavid would. Very good question there. But the Flames, I guess, are looking like a different team. They are spending a lot of time like actually practicing and looking like a legitimate hockey team. They're doing conditioning, lots of battling. There's speed. They look energized. It feels like, again, from what we have seen in 2 days, feels like a very different vibe, overall performance than the end of last season. Obviously, preseason, it's drills, it's not a game, but you are seeing signs of life in these guys. And it's just nice to see. It's a breath of fresh air. Coming up next, we are going to be talking about Jakob Pellitier and in an interview he did with the Flames website. But before we do that, I am going to talk to you about our friends at Bird Dogs. If you don't know what Bird Dogs are, you are missing out. They are the most comfortable pair of shorts I have ever owned. And I am someone, clearly, that dresses for comfort. I love my sweatpants. I love my sweatshirts. And Bird Dogs, while they have that comfort feeling, you can still dress them up. You can wear a polo with them. You can wear like a cool graphic t-shirt. They're good for any occasion. And I've worn mine to cookouts. I've seen my friends wear theirs on the golf course. People wear them to the gym. Like, they're really, truly good for any occasion, even date night. So if you are interested in being stylish and comfortable, go to birddogs.com/LockedOnNHL or enter promo code LockedOnNHL at checkout for a free Bird Dogs water bottle with your order. That's birddogs.com/LockedOnNHL for a free water bottle at checkout. You won't want to take your Bird Dogs off, and we promise you that. Thanks, everyone, for hanging out with me today on Locked On Flames. I am so grateful to be here. This is my 4th season, technically my 3rd full one. Do we count the 56 game season as a full season? I came in right before the pause. So if you've been listening that long, I'm so sorry that you had to listen to those early days, but I'm so grateful you are still here. I thought it would be a good time to share this article, mainly because I read it right before I decided what we wanted to talk about today. But to me, this just screams professionalism. It screams, I'm so excited to watch Jakob Pellitier play. I'm going to read the article. It's by Ryan Dittrich of CalgaryFlames.com. He took a deep breath and began the walk out, slow, steady, with one foot in front of the other. When he took those few final steps out of the tunnel, he gazed at the vista before him. Jakob Pellitier was thinking about everything and everyone that helped him to this point. Not the game he was about to embark on, but the people that dedicated their lives to help him climb the ladder and realize a childhood dream. This quote got me. My aunt passed away 2 years ago. Pellitier said, recalling his emotions the night of his NHL debut. It was a big moment for me and my family. So in the back of my mind, I was having those thoughts for her because she came out to Moncton to watch me play. So many of us do what we need to do to get by after we lose a loved one. And we honor them in different ways. And we, we might think of them in big milestone moments in our lives and how they're not there, but not physically there, but they're there. And this was just, this kid's about to go play his first NHL game. He's probably like crapping himself, but he's still finding that like time, I guess, to kind of step back and realize like, I am here because so many people took the time and effort and believed in me. And he says, I'm close to all my cousins, my aunt, my uncle. I think the big thing is that I thought of her and I wanted to be appreciative of the opportunity I had. Again, just he's such a good kid, right? Pellitier logged a total of 14 shifts that night, recording one shot on January 21st against the Tampa Bay Lightning. That began a 23 stretch of 23 straight games in the Flames lineup where he tallied 7 points, 3 goals, and 4 assists, and became something of a cult hero for his infectious locker room presence and delightfully wholesome goal celebrations, even when he himself wasn't on the ice. If there was one thing that I really loved from last season, it was his infectious energy and how he just lit up the god-awful dark room that the Flames were in. And I know that's like super cliche, but he was out there. He was always hugging Huberdeau. Who did he try to lift up? Was it Lindholm? He like tried to pick up after a goal. It was great. Like him and Kadri, I think at one point, like patting him on the head and just always being involved and excited and bringing something that the lineup was missing. For me, it's to bring some positivity around, to bring some good vibes, Pellitier said. That's the main thing. I think I can control that. It's the way I am, so that's going to be easy. But at the same time, it's on the ice, playing fast, playing with pace, and trying to create some turnovers, and then create some scoring chances and to score goals. I think that's the big thing for me. Well, yes, I would certainly hope that you want to score some goals. I think that is a reasonable expectation. I mean, that is what you're being paid to do. But it's nice that he is just that person. He doesn't have to, force that, some people have to like put on a face to be that funny, delightful person to be around. And he says it himself. He is just genuinely that person. That is just who he is. And I think everyone needs something in someone like that in the workplace. Otherwise, it's not very fun. It's been well documented that Pellitier struck an immediate bond with fellow Quebecer Jonathan Huberdeau last year despite the 8-year age gap. In fact, Huberdeau famously treated the rookie to a lavish steak dinner in New York City, of all places, to help ease the transition and welcome Pellitier to the bigs. That is the kind of stuff that matters. Because, number one, probably crapping himself again because he's just been called up to the NHL. He knows that he's going to be playing with one of the most elite playmakers in the league, and they have that French, Canadian, Quebec connection. And to be mentored by someone that he has looked up to, that's crazy. And it's one of those full circle moments for him. And I'm sure that Huberdeau, doesn't take this kind of stuff lightly because he knows what it's like to be the new kid. And, it's nice to have someone take you under their wing. It was like a dream for me to be with the boys, Pellitier said of the experience last year. The first 6 games, I was there. I didn't play. So to soak everything up, the practices, the nights with the guys that we went for supper, that was a big thing. The most important thing was that I learned how to be a pro off the ice. That is something that we've talked about on the show before. I know Nick and I have mentioned it when talking about these kids making the jump, even from the draft to being a professional athlete, right? You have kids. Connor Bedard the other day said it himself. He was like, he was asked about like what he was doing, and he was like, "Oh, like I've learned to cook for myself and take care of myself, like outside of the home or whatever." And a reporter followed it up with like, "Oh, what do you like to make?" And he was like, "Oh, I was just saying that to say that I don't do any of that." And it's hysterical because I'm sure Connor Bedard is not cooking himself any meals. I'm sure he is mainly eating at the team facility and has a nutritionist, the team nutritionist packing and meal prepping his food. And there is such a difference and a change of pace when you go even from the AHL to the NHL. You're playing more. There's more games. There's guys a lot bigger, a lot older, and a lot stronger than you. There's more experienced players. It's a no nonsense, as much as you can say that, kind of thing. You need to be able, you can't just be the class clown. You can't just go in there and be that immature, silly kid. You need to conduct yourself in a certain way. And I think that Pellitier does that. And, he does it in a way that is fun, but he still brings that level of professionalism to it. And I think that being mentored by Jonathan Huberdeau, helps reinforce that. And not saying he wouldn't be that way if Huberdeau wasn't there, but I'm sure it's a nice kind of like, if I have questions about anything, I know I can go to him. And it's not going to be a judgment sort of thing, right? I mean, I don't know. I would worry about people judging me. But that is all I have for Jakob Pellitier. And coming up next, we are going to talk winners and losers of the week because some things are just bigger than hockey. Thank you, everyone, for hanging out with me today as we wrap up the first week of Calgary Flames hockey. And make sure you're subscribed because we're back for you 5 days a week, wherever you get your podcasts, and of course on YouTube as well. I love doing winners and losers of the week because it gives me an opportunity to talk about things other than hockey. But also shine a light on things that is a small platform where I get to talk every day. And hopefully someone listens. And Nikita Zadorov did the same thing this week, except his platform's just a little bit bigger than mine. He went on to, he spoke out against Russia's invasion and war on Ukraine and the war in Ukraine. And as a Russian player, that is there can be serious implications to that. We all know, Panarin had to leave the Rangers at one point because of family safety concerns. We've seen players just go along, hopefully not agree with Putin for the sake of the family safety, and that is a big reason why Russian players don't really speak out. But Nikita Zadorov doubled down today on his YouTube interview. I think it's important for me to speak personally. I think I hopefully can change something in this world. It just sucks what's going on over there right now, and it's important to be vocal. He knew there would be backlash, but not yet. So far, it's been good. The past 2 days, I've gotten a lot of DMs and a lot of messages from Russian people, Ukrainian people, a lot from Czech Republic, Finland, Sweden, all over Europe, people showing great support. I would say in my Instagram, 99% of the messages are positive. This next part took me out. I know Russia has a bot system, so it takes 2 or 3 days to send some negative reviews. So I'm expecting them to come to my page too. Go off, Nikita. He said he knows his comments mean he can't go back and see his parents in his homeland anytime soon. I hope his parents are actually in Florida, right? Or in Calgary with him. I probably can't go back anytime soon until Putin isn't president or the regime is still there, but Florida is my home now, so I'm enjoying my time there. Not Calgary, just his off-season home. But no, in all seriousness, that is a very brave thing to do, and I think, people are kind of brushing it off and saying, well, I thought we didn't want politics in sports, and it's like, this is a little bit more than politics. Losers of the week. The Dallas Cowboys. Losing Trayvon Diggs is brutal. When I saw that news on Thursday, it was like I was punched in the gut. Like I found out someone I loved tore their ACL. Just not someone that makes my football team better, but someone that I was personally close with. And that stinks. That stinks if you have the Cowboys defense in fantasy. That stinks if you root for the Cowboys, if you're rooting against a team that plays for the Cowboys for the sake of your fandom or fantasy team. It just stinks. And it's not very fun. I think that and Nick Chubb, oh my, please do yourself a favor and don't look up the video of Nick Chubb's leg going one direction while he's going another. Sickening. It's been a brutal season for injuries, for football injuries, and it's only week? I think it's week 3. And that's going to be a long season. I guess Aaron Rodgers is talking to the Dolphins to help heal his ankle. He trusts a doctor to fix it, but now it's up to the Dolphins to fully repair him. Let me know how that works out. But that will do it for me here on today's episode of Locked On Flames. Thank you so much for joining me today, this week, at any point in this season. I'm so excited to have everyone listening and watching. You can find us wherever you get your podcasts and, of course, on YouTube as well. Love hearing from you in the comments. Leave a 5-star review or 5-star rating and a nice little review whenever you get the chance. But thanks, everyone, again. This is season 4, and I am more than excited to be here. And I hope the Flames feel the same way.